platform, to advocate for more young people to be, given opportunity to serve as councillors, chairmen, vice chairmen, and other, opportunities that are, prevalent in the third tier of government, so as to strengthen our democratic institution and also to nurture sustainability at the third tier of government. We also talk about environmental sustainability and Cross-River State youth. With the state vast natural resources, environmental sustainability should also be at the forefront of youth development activities. The degradation of natural resources, if not properly managed, will compromise both our economic and social fortunes as a state. Cross-River State youth can play a critical role in environmental sustainability through the following means: environmental education and awareness, that's simple, by educating youth about the importance of environmental conservation and sustainable resource management, which is very critical. Schools, community groups, and government programs should integrate environmental awareness programs. This could focus on biodiversity, climate change, waste management, and the most important one, renewable energy, which is, the trendy issue now. And also, let's not also forget about the blue economy too. That's also very important. Then participation in conservation projects. Youth can also be engaged in projects just such as forest management, wildlife conservation, and ecotourism. These projects not only provide jobs, but also give young people a direct stake in preserving the environment for future generation and also to nurture the sustainability of our environment. Waste management and recycling initiatives encourage young people to be involved in waste management and recycling projects, which can have multiple benefits. It would create jobs and it could also clean up, our environment, and also, begin to make young people to get involved in the waste to wealth initiative, which is now the common, decimal in our discourse nationwide. Now, the role of government and private sector in nurturing sustainability. I have to go here because it's when we're talking about sustainability and then we're talking about youth development and economic development and political empowerment of the youth, the role of government and private sector is key. And so I did something so that government is here, the private sector is here, so we can all, advise ourselves. For sustainability initiatives to strive, government policies must support youth participation. Are the youth okay with this? Am I speaking your mind?
Yes, sir.
That to nurture this sustainable initiative, government's policies and programs must support youth participation and involvement, while the private sector should also invest in programs that drive innovation and sustainability, especially as it concerns the economic development and socio-political, advancement of the youth of Cross-River State. Here are my few recommendations. Government policy and support. I'm speaking to myself now. The Cross-River State government should create policies that incentivize youth participation in sustainable economic and political activities. This can include tax breaks for youth-owned businesses, scholarship for environmental science students, and political inclusion for young candidates in elections. And I think the youth should be excited because this is coming at the heels of a local government elections. And so for some of you here who did not show interest, this is an opportunity for you to begin to go back to your wards and tell them that you want to contest. In fact, tell them that the Commissioner for Youth asked you to come and declare because we'll support you to win the elections. Public-private partnership, which is the private sector. Collaboration between the government, private sector, and non-governmental organizations, the NGOs, can foster some sustainable initiatives. PPPs can help establish training centers for the young people, fund youth projects, and provide platform for green innovations. Community involvement. Empowering community-based organizations to take ownership of local sustainability initiatives that ensures development is also inclusive and rooted in the specific needs of different localities. And young people are encouraged to get involved in community development in their different constituencies. And this community involvement includes, not just being youth activists here in the metropolis. Take the youth activism down to your local villages and communities to also build capacity of the young people who are living there. So you don't have a community of young people that are completely elitist. It means that all their programs, activities, and all of that are centered here in Calabar Municipality and Calabar South. We need to decentralize our activities as far as youth activism is concerned to other nooks and crannies of Cross River State. Conclusion, the youth of Cross River State represents a powerful force for both economic and social-political transformation. I hope you agree with me, Mr. Bongduke. Yes, the youth of Cross River State. We represent a political force, a very powerful force for both political, economic, and social transformation. Do you believe that, the youth are here? Do you believe that? Yeah. So by embedding sustainability into our activities, we can build an economy that is resilient, an environment that is preserved, and a political system that is inclusive and just. It is the responsibility of us as government, the private sector, and the youth themselves to ensure that sustainability becomes the guiding principle for the future development of Cross River State, especially the youth. Thank you very much, and God bless us.
Thank you. Thank you so very much indeed, dear Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development and Skills Acquisition, Honorable Ijum Ukam. Put your hands together for him one more time. Thank you very much indeed. While the Commissioner was speaking, the representative Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Right Honorable Peter, walked in. Please, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Dr. Chris Ojikbong. He is the head of personal staff representing the Deputy Governor. Already, the event had been declared open by the Commissioner for Power and Renewable Energy. Thank you so much indeed for finding time to come. God bless you. Put your hands together for him. I'd like to also recognize Joseph Afia, Director of Admin, representing the SUBEP Chairman. Put your hands together for him. Thank you so much indeed for coming. God bless you. And let me also recognize very specially Engineer Agim Ikem, software engineer and consultant. Thank you very much indeed for coming. At this juncture, just before the State Planning Commission Chairman, Vice Chairman comes on board, I have to protocol now. My employer has said it has to be the way he wants it to be. So I'd like to invite at this point in time the man at the center of it all. A lot of us describe him as the engine room of Cross River State. He's been there, done it, and doing it. Please help me welcome, especially for his presentation, the CEO of the State Planning Commission, and of course the Vice Chairman, Honorable Bong Duke. Put your hands together. Want you. This is better.
Thank you very much. The Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Right Honorable Dr. Peter Ode, who is eminently represented by Dr. Jipong, my friend, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development, although he has failed to develop me. Other commissioners who were here and have left, the very senior friends in government and the clergy. I see my very good reverend gentleman. I greet you, sir. I'm very happy to see you in this event. And Ambassador in Amity. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me just to skip this protocol But I will not skip without acknowledging the convener, Apostle Emmanuel. Thank you very much for putting this event together. And I beg you to allow me not follow these politicians and government people to talk the way they are talking. I am in government, but I see myself differently because I don't know how to follow all those protocols. And I am too blunt. I cannot sugarcoat things and make things look good. So that's why I'm very happy that Barrister Ijom, the Commissioner for Youth Development, spoke before I spoke. So that if I break your heart, you must have had the appetizer first. Because I'm here to tell you the truth, the way it is. I'm not saying he lied though. You know, lawyers don't lie. But they just have a way of making things look good. I was excited when I got the invitation to speak in this event. And incidentally, that was a day I was very troubled and very busy. In fact, I was transiting. I was going to far away China. So when I got to Ethiopia, I got the message at transit. So when I looked at the topic, and I said, oh, this is something that I must attend. You know, it struck a chord. So I started walking well in the long flight. So my little lecture had been ready for some weeks now. But before I go into that lecture, I would like to bring you very warm greetings from the very good people who are in the management staff of the State Planning Commission. They have given me tremendous support. When Barrister Ijom said I'm trending, I laughed because I'm trending. It's the State Planning Commission that is trending. So I thank them. Most of them are here. So I thank all the staff of State Planning Commission who have come here. Thank you for supporting us. We are to discuss nurturing sustainability, right? It sounds like it's a positive statement, but it is not. It is a statement that makes you think that whenever you wake up in the morning, you have two choices. Either to nurture and sustain negativity or and sustain positivity. Are we going to nurture and sustain bad governance? Are we going to nurture and sustain insensitivity? Are we going to nurture and sustain a system where we give budgets guy names? Are we going to nurture and sustain greed in government, where government officials, Ubong, you are not leaving, no? Please, lock the door. Nobody is leaving this hall until I finish talking. Especially the government people. Because we are the problem is not with the masses. Your Excellency, please, I wish my message is going to be recorded and played to everybody. Because we have a choice to nurture and sustain for the future. What are we nurturing? Are we nurturing a system where the youth that is so being praised by their very amiable commissioner would look at people and respect them based on the account balance, not caring how they got the money into the account? Is that the system we are nurturing and sustaining? We have a choice. Where a government official will leave office and pack 46 cars. One person. How do you explain this? What has gone wrong with us? Yet another person will add that office, will want to be appointed into that position so he can steal. So we stand at a crossroad of either nurturing negativity and sustaining it or making a U-turn and nurturing activity and sustaining it. Every youth, not every, thank God, there are some good youths. Majority of the youths in Nigeria want to blow. They don't want to grow. Think about nurturing and sustaining growth, not to blow. A child who knows nothing, who has nothing in his head, wants to drive S-Class Mercedes-Benz. And nobody cares making that money. Everybody wants to get into government, not to serve, but to steal. That's the truth. Majority of the people in government are not there to serve. They want to steal. Please, I'm telling you on good authority, because God has placed me in a place where I see a lot that is happening. I'm not saying everybody, but majority. They send you message, I talk to Oga, do this. Ask him, what do you want to come and do? You see, my children are... What do you want to come and do? He starts telling you his problems, which means he wants to come into government office to solve his problems. Is that what we want to nurture and sustain? No. So, sir, thank you for setting up this event. And it gives us an opportunity to assess ourselves and think. We have been in Cross River for many years. We've had democracy for many years. If my records are right, this is the 4th governor that I am personally serving. But what do we have to show? I make bold to stand on this stage to say that this is the first time I have confidence in governance in Cross River. Because now we have a governor who has the people at heart. This is why his policy thrust is people first. So we want to nurture and sustain the development of the people, not an individual. I am not supposed to talk about nurturing and sustaining other aspects of this, this symposium, but governance. So in governance, I'll limit myself to just talking on maybe 7 topics, right? But before we go into that, I want us to know that what we do today will count for us tomorrow. Because if you don't keep the record, others are keeping. Even when man is not writing. Vision for sustainable development in Cross River. He asked me to talk on capturing the vision and activating the future for sustainability in Cross River State governance. So after I will speak on the vision for sustainable development, I will talk on the environmental stewardship that Barrister Ijo has done a very good job upon already. So maybe I will even skip that. But I will talk a little bit on preserving our natural heritage. I will also speak on renewable energy as a pathway for sustainability. We, as a state now, are crying, fighting. Yes, it's a good thing for us to get back our oil wells. But I am anti-oil. Yes. As a person. Why do I say I am anti-oil as a person? I'm not saying oil is bad, but we have failed as a nation to harness the blessing of oil. A country that is so blessed with abundant oil, please tell me, what is the cost of petrol right now? I have my children in one country that does not have oil, and I go to that country frequently. Petrol is cheaper in that country than in Nigeria that has oil. So I'm not excited about oil because our oil becomes a cost to Nigeria. The of oil that we abandon agriculture. It is because of the discovery of oil that we abandon industrialization. If we did not have oil, we would have been the topmost producer of most agri products. We would have been the most industrialized nation in Africa. But oil came, cheap money, we went to sleep. Agriculture died. Are we going to sustain? Are we going to nurture and sustain dependence on oil? Or are we going to nurture and sustain the rejuvenation of agriculture? So we'll talk about renewable energy, and I will focus on wind, solar, and hydro, because that is renewable. I will then speak on sustainable agriculture and food security. That excites me. Before talking about the building a green and inclusive economy. Then number 6, I will speak on good governance and institutional support. If we don't have good governance and sustain it, another governor will come in and destroy everything Senator Prince has done or will do. The problem we have in Cross River is lack of sustainability, lack of continuity, lack of a well-thought-out plan, succession plan. When Donald left, Governor Donald, I'm sure he did not hand over to who he truly wanted to. When Governor Leah, I am sure he did not hand over to who he truly wanted to. When Governor Yade, I'm not sure he handed over to who he truly wanted to. Yes, put me anywhere, and I can prove it. Until we have a sustained democracy for a minimum of 2 decades, we will not go. A developing subnational economy can develop until there is a sustained, benevolent democracy, well thought out for minimum 2 decades. Today, develop agriculture. I leave. Tomorrow, Barrister Ijom becomes governor. He abandons, not yet. He abandons everything I did and starts his own because everybody wants to show, this is my legacy project. This is my own. I built this, I built that. No, it doesn't matter. I am glad this present governor, as of today, has not done any new thing. I'm glad. All the things he has done that people are praising him are the right things, not new things. Street light is not a new thing in Calabar. Traffic light is not a new thing in Calabar. Cleaning the roads of potholes is not a new thing in Calabar. We used to have good roads before. He's just doing the right things, not new things. He will do new things from next year. And this is a plan. The plan was that the first 2 years, don't do new things. Do the right things. Fix what was destroyed. Reactivate what was abandoned. But my prayer is that after him, we should have someone who can sustain this, who would have the same mindset. Not somebody who wants to come and build NASA Center in Akbabuyo. Then I will conclude by talking about the road to sustainable future. I will try and be fast, don't worry. So Cross River State, renowned for its rich biodiversity, scenic landscapes, and cultural heritage, stands at a critical juncture in shaping a sustainable future. The state's government, led by forward-thinking policies and initiatives, has the potential to capture a grand vision that harmonizes economic growth, environmental conservation, and social equity. To actualize this vision, sustainability must be embedded in the very fabric of governance, ensuring that the well-being of present and future generations is safeguarded. A vision for sustainable development. The vision for Cross River State lies in leveraging its natural resources without depleting them, fostering inclusive economic opportunities, and ensuring environmental preservation. When I had a discussion with the governor 2 weeks ago, I told him that we are modeling a governance strategy that I call inclusive governance, to replace what we called before food on the table. One person can come in and say, I want to do food on the table, stomach infrastructure. Another person says, I want to do inclusive governance. Let me tell you the difference between the two. Food on the table means I give you food, I give you money, go home. Do what you want to do with it. Eat the money. It will keep coming. No accountability. But inclusive governance means, come. Let's work together. But I will tell you what to do. That is why in the State Planning Commission, I sit down morning till night giving mandates to political appointees. The mandate is, do this, don't do this, it's not your job, do this. And based on what you do, I set key performance indicators and check you, whether you are doing what you have been asked to do, whether your salary is actually being earned. You need to earn it. You need to earn it. You can't be appointed. The governor is free to appoint 10,000 people, no problem. But I will give them jobs to do. And they will all contribute to the growth of the government. So that's the difference between inclusive governance and... So the governor adopting inclusive governance is a right step in the right direction. And I pray it is sustained by the next government. So this preservation of our environment requires an integrated approach that aligns with global frameworks, such as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The state's vast natural endowment, including the tropical rainforest, rare wildlife species, and a coastline that supports vibrant ecosystems, places our state in a unique position to lead Nigeria's green economy. According to Phillips Consulting, early this year, Cross River State ranks number 2, only after Lagos, on socio-economic potentials, which means the greatest place, the best place for anybody to invest in Nigeria is Cross River, after Lagos. And the gap between Lagos and Cross River is less than 3%. Lagos has 82, Cross River 70, I think 79.5, so 2.5%. The next state is 72. So you can see the gap that Lagos and Nigeria has given, Lagos and Cross River has given to the rest of Nigeria. Google socioeconomic potentials 2024. Nigeria socioeconomic potentials. Cross River is number 2. We have no excuse. Sustainable development extends beyond environmental conservation, Barrister Ijo. It encompasses creating jobs, reducing poverty, promoting education, and ensuring good governance. And ensuring good governance. In fact, let me say it for the third time, and ensuring good governance. Cross River's government must adopt a holistic vision that combines these elements to build a future where prosperity is not achieved at the expense of environment or marginalized communities. Environmental stewardship, preserving our natural heritage. Cross River State boasts one of Nigeria's last remaining rainforests, home to diverse flora and fauna, including endangered species like the Cross River gorilla. This natural wealth positions the state as a player in global environmental conservation efforts. However, threats of deforestation, illegal logging, and unregulated urban development loom at large. My greatest problem in Cross River is illegal logging. And it is not perpetuated by poor people. It is done by big people, and some of them in government. I'm sorry, if after this presentation I lose my job, somebody should employ me somewhere. But I will tell you the truth. But until we tell ourselves the truth, we will not change. There is no poor person who is supporting or who is sponsoring illegal logging in Cross River. Quote me anywhere. Because if I hear the amount of money they pay as bribes, no poor person can remove 2 million naira and pay bribe to go and log wood. So who are these rich people? The government must do something. And each one, we must be fearless. If we must change, we must be fearless. We must speak truth to power. And I encourage members of the public to also speak truth to power. We've been afraid of power for so many years, and it has kept us where we are. Yes, let's dialogue. Let's advocate, not protest. Actually, the government can champion sustainability by strengthening environmental protection laws, increasing investment in ecotourism, and collaborating with international organizations on conservation projects. Ecotourism, in particular, holds immense potential to create jobs, generate revenue, and promote conservation. The state's national parks, rivers, and heritage sites should be harnessed as assets in building a tourism-driven green economy. Renewable energy as a pathway to sustainability. Transitioning to renewable energy is another key pillar in achieving a sustainable future for Cross River State. Currently, Nigeria's reliance on fossil fuels has contributed to environmental degradation and energy. By prioritizing investments in solar, wind, scale hydro projects, Cross River can lead the way in providing clean energy access to rural and urban communities alike. A shift to renewable energy would not only reduce greenhouse gas, but also create jobs in the green technology sector. So training programs can be fostered. What's happening with microphones now? We must speak the truth with mic or without mic. So training programs and public-private partnerships can be fostered to ensure that local communities, especially youths, are empowered with the skills needed to thrive in a renewable, energy-driven economy. Sustainable agriculture and food security. China as a country has used agriculture to alleviate people out of poverty. 2 weeks ago, when we had a training in Nanning region, they were bold enough to tell me that there is no poor person in their region. I was shocked. And I picked my bit of research and realized that it's true. They have lifted everybody out of poverty. A country that has 1.3 billion people has lifted everybody out of poverty. Yet a country with less than 250 million people cannot. 90% of us are poor because 10% of us are too rich. It makes me sad. It breaks my heart. Because why? And what are they doing with this wealth? We don't know. If you know the amount of money some government officials have stolen, and you ask yourself, what do they want to do with it? Very heartless people. God help me. It is because we have individuals who are stronger than institutions. We have individuals in Nigeria who are stronger than the judiciary. So no matter what they do, they are stronger than the police force. I saw on social media, unconfirmed yet, that Bobrisky never slept in prison. Is she not stronger than the institution? She or he? That is what we are talking about. Is this what we are going to nurture and sustain? Are we going to nurture and sustain a situation where a he or a she is stronger than the whole institution, correctional institution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Stronger than the police, stronger than the prisons, stronger than the court. The court has sentenced you to prison, 6 months. Big man, calls the controller general of prisons, and they hire a house for you to stay. Excuse me. Please, maybe I should not be invited for such meetings again. But let me tell you the truth. If we don't speak the truth to ourselves, we will never change. Even the Bible says, confess your sins. When you hide your sins, you cannot change. But when you confess it, express it, let people know, I'm a thief. Oh. I don't know how to take stop. You can then find help. So please, let us speak about the ills in our society that is driven by us in government. So a shift to renewable energy would not only reduce greenhouse. Okay, I said that. Sustainable agriculture. I was talking about China using agriculture to move people out of poverty. We can do same. In an entire village, they turned that village in Nanning into where they sell jasmine flower. They plant just jasmine. And guess what? That village produces 60% of the jasmine in the world. A particular village produces 60%. So the rest of the world, everywhere you see jasmine, we are only contributing 40% as against what one village in China is producing. Everybody in that village is rich. Went to village council. The village secretary is 22 years old, driving a Brabus. He's a multi-billionaire. What does he do? Farming. In Nigeria, when you say you're a farmer, the first thing that comes to anybody's mind is that you're a poor person. But when you say you are an oil marketer, the first thing that comes to anybody's mind is you're a rich person. I deal with oil and gas. They will think you're a rich person, right? But if I say I'm a farmer, they will think you're a poor person. See what we have done to ourselves. Oil and gas. They will respect you. Farmer, they will not respect you. We need to change. Agriculture is the backbone of Cross River's economy, providing livelihoods to a large percentage of the population. However, unsustainable farming practices and land degradation have limited the sector's growth. The state government has a crucial role to play in promoting climate-smart agriculture, which integrates environmental sustainability with economic resilience. Investing in agroforestry, sustainable land management, and organic farming can help improve crop yields while preserving soil health. By supporting local farmers with access to technology, finance, and training, the government can build a resilient agriculture sector, and the government has to. I had a meeting with the agri cluster yesterday in my office, and I ensured this was included in their plans. We have to, because if we don't do it now, forget it. We are not sure who is coming after Prince. So agriculture sector, to ensure food security, boosts exports and contributes to the state's economic growth. Now, building a green and inclusive economy. For Cross River State to fully activate the future of sustainability, its economic policies must prioritize inclusivity and resilience. A green economy focuses on reducing carbon footprints, minimizing waste, and creating jobs that contribute to the environmental protection. The state must explore green infrastructure projects, waste management solutions, and sustainable transport systems. This we are doing. The governor is really passionate about this. And just last week, we signed a deal, a CNG manufacturing plant company, to come to Calabar and assemble CNG buses, cars, and tricycles. The private sector has a vital role to play, and the government should encourage and will encourage businesses to adopt eco-friendly practices. Offering incentives for green investments, facilitating access to sustainable financing, and creating a regulatory environment to support innovation are key actions that will spur green entrepreneurship and create jobs in Cross River. Moreover, inclusivity in economic planning is essential. Women, youth, the marginalized communities, like people living with disabilities, must be at the forefront of decision making. I didn't say they should be part of. I said they must be at the forefront. When my friend, Barrister Ijom, the commissioner, Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development, was talking about youth testing, I smiled. You know why I smiled? We have a bill, not too young to run bill, right? Let me tell you the truth. That bill is rubbish. The bill will remain rubbish until we have too old to run bill. Yes. Not too young to run will not work until we have too old to run. And besides having too old to run bill, what will solve our problem is, our problem will be solved when we have too corrupt to run. Yes. Why do we respect the traditional institutions more than the government institution? You cannot become a prince. Your community will kick you out. You cannot become a king. They will kick you out if you are corrupt. But you can become the president of Nigeria, even if you are a criminal. You can become the governor of your state, even if you are a criminal. All you need to do is steal the money, bring the money, and campaign with it. Buy votes. They will vote for you and you become governor. So until we have too corrupt to run bill, we will not have good leaders. Because the thieves will... Wait, do you think if I contest election today, I will win? Where is the money? Where is the money? They'll just say, Bong is very good. Nice guy. But in election, they will give us money. Nothing to show. That's the word. Campaign. Tell them all the good things you will do. In truth, at the end, they say, got land now. When they leave, they say, it did not land well. That's the end of their career. God will help us in Jesus' name. Good governance and institutional support. Sustainability in Cross River State cannot be realized without effective governance and robust institutions. Robust institutions. Not robust individuals. Kuda should be able to seal my house if my environment is dirty. But can they go near Barrister Ijom's house? Commissioner. Thank God the man is a good man. That's why I can use him as an example. If not, the police go carry me from this door. What I'm trying to say is we need to have robust institutions, not robust individuals. So that when the individuals break the law, the institutions can speak and stand. We can't go anywhere in Cross River until we have robust institutions. The State Planning Commission was dead in the last 8 years. By God's grace, we are trying to bring it to life. That's why you see a commissioner is telling, commissioner, he's bigger than me. He's telling me that I give him an exam. And it's true. Because it's not me. It's the institution. I'm building a robust institution that can call any ministry and say, come, what are you doing? So that tomorrow, when I leave the State Planning Commission, the system runs, the state runs. We are setting it, my idea is to set it on auto run, so that it is bigger than me. It's not about me. I'm not trending, man. It's SPC that is trending. Transparent governance structures. We need transparent governance. Community participation and accountability must be at the heart of our state's policy. Environmental laws and sustainability programs must be enforced rigorously. And citizens must be empowered to hold government institutions accountable. Citizens must be empowered to hold government institutions accountable. Must be empowered to hold government officials accountable. Citizens should be able to call me, Bong, what are you doing? What is your plan for me? What is your plan for agriculture? What is your plan for education? I am there to serve you. So everybody in government is there to serve the citizens, and they must be empowered to hold us to account. Before I traveled 2-3 weeks ago, I called the DG of Urban Beautification Agency and said, I don't want to see anybody selling by the roadside on MCC. I don't want to see anybody selling by the roadside on IBB. I don't want to see anybody selling by the roadside on Marian. Go and enforce it. Because I have been to cities that have 60 million people. Check the population of Beijing. Nobody is selling by the roadside. It is not poverty that is making us sell by the roadside. It is mentality. Let us build marketplaces for them to sell. You that drive your car, wrong parking because you want to buy cucumber. Come on, what kind of indiscipline is this? If we don't stop this thing now, who will stop it? I'm sorry, Your Excellency, give me time to talk. If we don't correct these things, who will correct it? We condone it in Calabar. But when we go to New York, we come back and say, oh, it's beautiful. Someone did it. You have people whose responsibility is to pack refuse. They will not pack. And they will wait for me. I'm driving along State Housing. There's refuse. Come on. My boys are going to. You come back 2 hours. It hasn't been picked. People need to be responsible. It is we, the same set of people, when we travel abroad, we don't chew gum and drop on the floor. But in Calabar, we do it. Why? There was a time we used to accost people. When you drive and throw things, somebody on the street will stop you to pick it up. That culture of our Calabar must come back. And that is what we need to nurture and sustain. They did a radio program to find out public opinion on evacuation of the roadside sellers. Guess what? Everybody supported it. So we actually want a good society. The masses want a clean Calabar. So where's the problem? The problem is with us, government. Enforcement. God bless you. And if you ask the person who is supposed to enforce, he will tell you myriads of problems. What they see is problem. They don't see solutions. When I was appointed Vice Chairman CEO of State Planning Commission, I went to my office the first day. I almost cried. I couldn't stay. It was dingy, dirty, no light. Generator had packed up like NEPA hadn't given lights in that place for like 6 years. Generator had packed up, nothing. No chair was, nothing. Like, it was like a scene to act horror movie. I was terrified. I'm serious. But I didn't see the problem. I saw solutions. And today, I think I have one of the most beautiful offices. Commissioner, have you come to my office? Now I love to go to work because I enter my office and I'm happy. I can think. I did not look at problems. I never went to His Excellency and said, Your Excellency, I cannot resume. My office is dirty. The man has given you a job. Go and do it. And this is a message to every political appointee. The man has given you a job. Go and do it. Because, see, governance and service in government is not a career. It is a calling. God did not call you. Jesus did not ask disciples to go and walk in comfortable places. Go ye over the mountains, over these hills, and everywhere, and declare that Jesus Christ is. He didn't say go to the plains, move on superhighway. So governance is a calling. If you are not ready to serve in government, nurture and sustain good governance, please resign. Governance is a calling, just as medical practice. If you are not ready to sacrifice, if you are not ready to work and change the ideology of the civil service and public service from being time-bound to result-bound, we will go nowhere. The civil servant sits in the office and is looking at the clock. 3:59. 4. Bah! They go home. Whether they have achieved anything that day or not. I'm sorry if I've hurt you, but that's the truth. I don't leave my office until I finish what I was meant to do that day. I don't. So I'm not controlled by time of leaving the office. I am controlled by achievement of my daily tasks. And if you don't break down objectives into tasks, daily tasks, in fact, hourly tasks, you will sit down there before you know 4 years is over. And you look back and regret. Ask yourself, what did I do in 4 years? Nothing. We cannot nurture and sustain such mediocrity. We have to run government, the private sector, result-driven. Otherwise, we will achieve nothing. In conclusion, the road to sustainable future. Cross River State has a unique opportunity to be a model of sustainability in Nigeria and beyond by capturing a clear vision of sustainable development and actively pursuing it through comprehensive policies. The government can drive economic prosperity while safeguarding its natural heritage. The journey toward a sustainable future, bold leadership, leadership that can talk. If you sack me today, I will go. God will still provide for me. So I am bold to say anything I want to say as long as it is the truth. So we need bold leadership, we need innovative thinking, and we need collective action. Collective action. If governance in Cross River State can prioritize environmental stewardship, economic inclusivity, and institutional accountability, it will not only secure the well-being of its citizens, but also contribute meaningfully to the global sustainability efforts. The time to activate this future is now. Thank you very much.
You know, no words can be more true, more profound than the words spoken by the State Vice Chairman and CEO of the State Planning Commission. Please put your hands together for him. He deserves another round of applause. And at this juncture, our convener, please allow me, as the Master of Ceremonies, I have this come. Privilege, come, please. Yeah. You don't listen to men like this and allow them go. You must take something home. And I want to take this back home. A picture of myself and a man who was relaxed now. I'm not finished talking now. A picture of myself and a man who has just spurred up something in me. So the truth is, people like you in government don't speak the truth. And it's rare. Done. Please clap for him again. Yes, I want a picture. Now, the picture will be like this, sir. I know you're a very big man. Vice Chairman, State Planning Commission. I'm just an MC. But you shake me as if we are friends. Yeah. Wait now. Yeah, so I'll hide this mic. God bless you. I just took a picture with my friend, the Vice Chairman of the State Planning Commission. I have given our spiritual leader the lead. Sir, you've said so much. The truth is, I'm also not really an oil fan because before the advent of oil in the 1970s, agriculture was the thing. And look at Nigeria today. Like you said, it is a curse because we have more poor people than the rich, yet we have a blessed nation, yet we have oil in abundance. Like you said, we have less than 1% of people controlling the vast resources of this nation. When you look around this country, you begin to wonder, does God really love Nigeria? Did God bless Nigeria? Many questions you'd like to ask. You spoke about China. They were once a poor nation, but they closed their doors at some point and look inward. And today look at China. Everybody wants to go to China. And that's because they never actually looked at the problems. They looked at the solutions, like you said. You have really spurred up something in me, and I must really say thank you so much. And the program you spoke about on radio was my program. We had that public opinion about, street trading and all that, and everybody wanted it to be cleared. So that was me. So you know the guy who did it now. Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll find time, come to your office, and have a tete-a-tete. Thank you so very much. So we're about to have the next very important session, and that is the panel discussion. Can we have these chairs come forward a bit, please? Or come on stage now, because we're going to have the government side and then the private sector side. But before then, say again? Oh, no division, Abby. Okay, body together. Okay. But before then, convener, please, I'd like to crave your indulgence to do something. The CEO of Bright Flow, she came in with some books. You bought one already. And now that the State Planning Commission is here, the Deputy Governor is here, Commissioner for Youth Development is here, and other people in the house, she wants to let them know that she has the books here in the house. So just in case you want to buy, please, can we see the books, please? The books are very affordable. We have come forward with the books quickly, in 2 minutes. We have one with the hard copy and one with the, what? The regular. So VIP and regular, they for book now. Okay, here's the one with the hard copy. Goes for 25,000 naira only. And this one is the regular 20,000 naira. It is Fundamentals of Maritime Business, Trade and Logistics by Annie Itone. Please pick up a copy and be blessed. God bless you. Can we have the panel session now, please? Let's have someone help us with the. So we'll take this away. We'll take this away. Somebody help me. DJ, give us something very light, please. DJ, quickly. I've just been informed that we have the press secretary to the Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Barrister Fred Aboa, in the building. Please, where is Barrister Fred Aboa? Thank you very much indeed for coming. We also have Mrs. Veronica Inyang, the Director of Admin, representing the Commissioner for Water Resources. Thank you so much indeed for coming. All right, so we're about to have the panel session. This is a very, very important session. It will be moderated by the convener of this leadership summit here. Would like to invite very quickly, because of time, the convener of this leadership summit, Pastor Emmanuel. Emmanuel has a heart for leadership. Put your hands together for him.
Thank you very much. Please, we'll try to manage our time. As we can see, time is fast spent. And I want to especially once again appreciate everyone who's contributed to this session, the speakers, the Vice Chairman, CEO of the State Planning Commission, here, Honorable Bongduke, who has just who I just activated Sparks. And then, of course, my friend and brother, the commissioner, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development, and those who have contributed, who have gone to attend to other functions. We'll skip the protocols. I'll moderate this myself so that we can catch up with time, all right? And I'd like to say this. I understand Honorable Bongduke has some other things to attend to, and we're trying to see how the representative of the deputy governor is here. He'll also have to speak. So if you want to ask questions, right, it's a discussion session, but if you want to ask questions, please go straight to the point. We don't have time to waste. We don't have time for stories. Just go straight to the point, be objective, and then I like to say, please bombard Bongduke as much as possible. All right? Just bombard him as much as possible. He is here to serve you. He is here to serve us, and he's here to serve you. And I understand that he has very brief time to be here. So we'll just take that as priority. If you have questions, very fast, let's see what we can do about it. So please, most respectfully, I'd like to welcome you, sir, to the table, to the high table, or the panel's chair. Honorable Commissioner for Youth, please, may you also come forward? Yes. We have to ask you now. And Mrs. Anne Tong, I understand that you are the woman on the panel. Please come and sit with us. Yes, ma'am. Please. No, I would like you to be in the middle. Honorable Commissioner, please, here. Let's guide her jealously. Thank you. Okay, so please let's proceed with questions. Let's start with questions. Please ask whatever question you want to ask, and we'll oblige. Okay, so you.
You tell us your name and go straight to your question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nsikak Peter Udofot. My question is for Honorable Bongduke. Thank you so much for that very beautiful presentation. I actually had a couple of questions in mind, but as your presentation went on, it left my memory. But you talked about not liking oil, right? And I totally agree with you as a person. And later in your presentation, you talked about CNG, which is the compressed natural gas, and that Cross River State wants to host a facility here of some sort. But I'm just thinking that it's the natural gas is still a result of the oil industry. And if I can recall, there was a video I saw somewhere in another country where there was an explosion of a vehicle that had compressed natural gas. So if you want to talk about moving from fuel to natural gas, I think we should be very careful about that. Yes, and my second question is, as we move towards renewable energy, wind, hydro, etc., we should also be very careful because this transitioning would require certain minerals. There's going to be a high drive in mining. Now, if you look at the oil company, the extraction of oil has brought so much poverty to us. If you want to transition, we should also be very careful. So how do we do this without making the same mistake we made in the oil sector? Thank you.
Thank you very much. You want to respond immediately?
I don't know what the modality is. Should I
You should
respond?
respond,
Okay.
because you're not writing it down. You may lose your train of thought.
Okay,
so.
thank you very much, Sikak. And I would like to let you know that I have a degree in geology and mining. So I know what I'm talking about, right? We have more reserves of natural gas than oil. And building or setting up the CNG facility in Cross River is a plus to our state in any way you look at it. If you don't set it up in Cross River, they will set it up in Anambra, right? So for us to set it up in Cross River is a plus to our state. But yes, I'm not a fan of oil. Does not mean that I don't drive a petrol car. I drive a petrol car, right? But I see that oil has made us become lazy, has made us dependent. So I'm not a fan of oil. I'm a fan of renewable energy. I'm a fan of agriculture. I'm a fan of industrialization, right? But this CNG facility is a transition. We cannot move from petrol, diesel-driven cars directly to EVs. Everybody wants to have EVs, but do we have the infrastructure? Otherwise, you have a car in your house, you don't have power to charge it. So we need to transit. China is transiting. And in fact, if you see the problems they have, I met a friend who said he has applied for license plate of his EV vehicle, and is waiting for the 4th year. Now, that could be because of the volume or the number of people in that country, but also the level of infrastructure that is available to them. Power, charging ports, the roads for it. So Nigeria cannot, it's not possible, it's not practicable for us to just jump from petrol and stop petrol cars because we don't like oil and start doing EVs. The danger you talk about for CNG car exploding, that probably is one car in the news that you heard. Do you know how many petrol cars explode every day around the world? Do you know the volume of kerosene explosions? Even in my village, a very close person to me suffered kerosene explosion. Did that stop us from using kerosene? We can't. Plane crashes, there are plane crashes every time, but we can't stop flying. There are car accidents every day. We can't stop driving. So explosion of a CNG car, maybe one case in 1 million, I don't think it's bad. CNG is still safe. So to conclude, sir, we have gas. If we don't use it, we will flare it. We've been flaring since 1960. So please, let's use it.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Julius Afolabi. I'm a result architect and a value improvement strategist. And my question spreads across the panelists. First of all, sir, the CEO would first of all recommend, as part of sustainability, that this talk today be replicated in all the academic institutions in Cross River State. Because if we have 10% that carries the kind of mindset that you carry in the university, then the sustainability is predictable. So please, it's tantamount to Acres of Diamond by Colin Powell. So I would like to recommend that that is done. Then renewable energy. Yes, the renewable energy is not what we cannot do, because it was done in Songhai farms in Itigidi. I was there, I visited there, and I saw the renewable energy and the plant that was on ground. But today is non-existent. So it has been in the pipeline. So my question is this for you, sir. Sustainability sits on 3 legs: clarity, productivity, and security. What is the state's plan? What is the security architecture to protect the plans that you presently have? Calabar, as an acronym, was come and live and be at rest. We have both the resources, but I doubt the resourcefulness. For instance, tourism is one of the areas in which Calabar thrived, or Cross River State thrived in times back. What is your office plan, vision as part of its plan, to be able to revive that in the state, sir? And then, secondly, for the youth, we know very well now that we have moved into the gig economy, where creativity, talent, and distribution is the order of the day. Calabar has a crop of intellectuals in both sports and arts. But some of the foremost top 1% athletes in Nigeria hail from Cross River State. But there is no hub that harmonizes a nursery to have that interconnection between those that are currently coming up and the ones that have already existed. So there's no sustainability because there's no bridge at all. And is it also possible for the Commissioner for Sports now, is it also possible for Cross River State to have a signature skill? Specificity is powerful. If there's a particular skill, whether in IT, in-demand skill, that is traceable to only Cross River State, that we can say, okay, if you want this crop of professionals or athletes or talents in this particular area, it may be entertainment. It may even be in food and fashion, right? In style. But can we have that particular one? A signature skill that is driven by Cross River State, Calabar in particular, that we can have that. So that's for the commissioner for sport. Then finally, in the maritime, yeah? Youth. Oh, youth. Please, pardon me. Then lastly, the maritime is very, very important. If Malaysia picked up our palm fruits here and they thrive on that palm fruit globally now, it means that there's resource in this particular place that can be exported. Also, our granite at Akamba is as good and is inviting China to participate and take lease from this particular point. Now, what effort are you making in order to create partnership clubs in schools in order to prepare the young ones to see the viability in the maritime that we are looking forward to taking advantage of? So please, I'll beg to get answers from this and see how we move. Thank you very much.
Well, all right.
I think my aspect is the tourism, right?
Yes.
You know, tourism in Cross River is grossly misunderstood by majority of us. There is a book written by an American author that has the title, Land Rich, Cash Poor. You can have land, but you are still poor with cash. Tourism made Cross River popularity rich, cash poor. Are you aware? The biggest debt profile, the biggest proportion of our debt profile as a state is attributed to the tourism sector. Yes. We have right now in the tourism sector in Cross River what I call toxic assets. Toxic assets. Toxic in the sense that you cannot use it, you cannot sell it. You think it is an asset, but it is actually a liability. Those who study economics know that an asset is what brings money to you. A liability is what takes money. Is Tinapa an asset or a liability? We are coming. Don't worry, it's a journey. Just come with me small. The cable car in Obudukatu Ranch, is it an asset or a liability? It's taking money from. Right now, to service that cable car, we got a bill recently. In fact, this morning, someone came to my office again to show me. $1.5 million. Even my China phone fell down. Just to look at it, for the people to come and assess it, they want government to pay $1.5 million. Convert that to Naira and tell me how much it is. It's approximately 3 billion Naira. Yes. We are not against tourism. We must do it. But we must do it with sense. Trinidad and Tobago has tourism. Is it richer than America? Tourism should not be the primary driver of development. Tourism should be as a result of development. Nobody went to Dubai when it was a sand dune. It was after they had developed Dubai that people went there and it became a tourist site. Nobody will come to Calabar for tourism when we cannot even clean our streets. Nobody will come to Calabar for tourism when they are not sure of their safety. Right now, if I want to see my children, I will open my phone. And through cameras, I see them and what they are doing. And I have peace of mind. Nobody will relocate to Calabar when they are not sure that they will not be kidnapped. and you are talking about tourism. We must feed our people first. Give them jobs first. Educate them first. Get them prepared to even receive the tourists. Give them work, career, to be able to service the tourism sector. Otherwise, we will be creating a tourism sector that is beneficial to other people, not our people. There was a December in this town where there was no Star beer. How many Cross Riverians benefited from it? We only drank the beer, but the Igbo man brought the beer in trucks and went back with the money. We are not, I will not, let me speak I now, as State Planning Commission. I will not do development, but I will do sustainable development. So we will not rush into dumping money into tourism when we are not ready to run tourism. The governor's interventions have been prioritized, and tourism is not number one. Sorry. Number one is agriculture. When the people are happy, when the people are fine, when the environment is clean, when the environment is safe, tourists will come. Dubai is not begging anybody to come. Nigerians are actually queuing, begging for them to lift the ban on visa. Let Dubai lift the ban on visa today. Emirates plane flies, the plane will be full because the place is safe. The Emiratis are not hungry. They will not harass you. Our people right now are hungry. We are not ready for tourists. Please don't quote me on this. We are ready. After all, we will do the Calabar Carnival. But this is an inside talk. That level that you are talking about, we are not ready. Give us 2 years. Give the present administration 2 years. Let us fix agriculture. Let us fix industries. Let us fix education and health. A tourist comes here and has cardiac arrest. To get to hospital, there are no doctors. Will you come? The governor has asked for the employment of doctors and other people into the service. Let us fix these things first. We will not spend money advertising tourism. Calabar Carnival up till today is a burden on government. Yes, quote me. Until we run a carnival that is 100% sustainable without government funds going in there, I can't call it carnival. It's an avenue for government expenditure, which I am against. Carnival should be self-sustaining. Carnival Commission should be able to bring investors to invest in the carnival, not collecting money from government every year. And we are calling ourselves tourist state. Tourism that is funded by government is a paid tourism. So looking at it economically, we don't have tourism because it's not adding money to government. Until tourism generates revenue to government, that is when Bongjik will be happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think if I can understand your question very well, first of all, let me correct you. I'm Commissioner for Youth Development and Skill Equity. I'm not Commissioner for Youth and Sport. But at least I can hold forth for my colleague, Commissioner for Sport, in areas you want clarification. But your question is, it's direct. You want to know where the youths of Cross River State enjoy comparative advantage. But let me say this and say it very loud and clear. We have distinguished youths from Cross River State who have excelled, or excelling, are still excelling in various fields of endeavor, within and outside the state. Okay, I think I should just hold on, let the distraction, so that we can all concentrate.
Okay, please. Please, let's not get distracted, please.
No. We understand. State Planning Commission is trending, so go and attend to it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bongjik.
Go and do the needful. Okay, like I was still driving home my point. And so we have a syndrome which is not particular to Cross River State, which is the Jakba syndrome. And so we have the Jakba syndrome at the international level, and we also have it locally. For some of us, we grew with the mindset that nothing good comes out of Cross River State. We had friends, we grew up together, and they will always remind you that if you want to make it, you have to leave Calabar. And so we have Cross-Riverians, young Cross-Riverians, who are, doing very well in different fields of endeavor, but they are not within the state. If you permit me to mention but a few, you have, in the entertainment industry, you have the Wofi, you have Cobums, and a lot of others. You have the MC Mbakaras, and recently, I only got to know recently that the guy, the fish pie guy who is trending, is a Cross-Riverian. Yes. The Valsam guy is a Cross-Riverian from Yako. And with due respect to the youth of Cross River State who are presently within the state and doing their thing, we still have a lot, even in sports, you have a lot of Cross-Riverians who are, doing very well in the sports industry, but they are not in Cross River State. And so we cannot identify them and profile them as Cross-Riverians. But the truth still remains that the average Cross-Riverian is very productive. That's the youth of Cross River is very productive, is hardworking, is creative. Because even within the state, I've had the opportunity, I've been commissioner for a year plus. When I came in as commissioner initially, I tried to profile businesses that are being run entirely by young people in Cross River State. And I identified a whole lot, very successful businesses. And so what did I do? Because I also, for the first time, came face to face with that narrative that if you want to make it big, you need to jackpot out of Calabar back. That's the narrative back in the days. But that's changing. So we have a lot of young people from Cross River State doing business in Cross River State, and they're doing very well. We have the likes of La Shakara. We have the likes of A to Z Shoes. I don't know if any of you know them. We have the like of Faultless, and a whole lot of them, that started businesses and are doing very well in Calabar. And even my brother standing here, he's a Cross-River and he's practicing, is good. He's one of the best radio presenters in Nigeria. It's a youth from Cross River State. And so let's learn to celebrate our talents that are within. Because the truth is, we're talking about nurturing sustainability. And how do we nurture and sustain the little progress being made by our young people if we not try as much as possible to patronize and promote them? Because most of us here, if we look at us, almost everything we wear is foreign. Yet we have local guys producing shoes. We have local guys who make clothes. We have local guys who have almost all of the things we buy. But we'll be like, Cross River State, now fake or it's substandard. So we should also learn to give them their flowers so we can encourage them. When I became commissioner, after identifying these young entrepreneurs, I had a program. Thank God my director of youth is here. I had a program where I branded them ambassadors, youth ambassadors, gave them certificates and medals. The idea behind it was just to showcase them to other young people from Cross River State, to begin to believe in themselves and also believe in the potentials within the state. Because these were young entrepreneurs that are doing business in Cross River State, yet they export to other countries. You have A to Z, whose shoes are worn by people in America. You have MSC Styles and Faultless, whose clothes are worn by people outside. They have orders outside of Cross River State and outside of Nigeria. And so the problem is not with the youth. That's the truth. The problem is with the system. Bong Duke has x-rayed the challenges we have, and they are systemic in nature. It doesn't have anything to do with the youth of Cross River State. And I'm not also holding brief for the youth who are lazy. No, I'm not. But we still have youth who, I told you about the young people who walked into my office and gave me the reason to still believe that there's hope for the youth of Cross River State, which led me to even get to meet Mr. Emmanuel Sam. I think I met you in that program. Yeah. And so we should cut them some slacks. We should give them some flowers for the good ones among the youth. Like Bong said, not too young to rule, yeah. And he has also rephrased it to say, not too old to rule, too old to rule and too corrupt to rule and all of that. So instead of us always criticizing and making it look as if the youth of Cross River State are not at par with youth from other states of Nigeria. We should encourage the ones that we can identify, and they're doing very well. I'm saying this for the private sector especially. Most of these are entrepreneurs. Most of these are sportsmen. Because let's say, for example, I had a girl that I met who got invited she's from Krutech. Those who are from Krutech will understand. I think judo or so, from Krutech. And she was invited to World Games for students to represent Nigeria in judo. She was going everywhere looking for flight tickets and logistics to be able to attend that event. And she ended up not attending that invitation. Yes. This one I know because she approached me then. I wasn't even a commissioner then. Trying to see how she can get sponsorship and all of that. She didn't attend because she went for the locals and came tops. And so she was given an invitation, but the invitation just had visa alone. She had to do other, and she didn't attend. And I'm sure if she attended that invitational, she would have been, and then we have, recently I was going through the Olympics, and there's one Cross Riverian in table tennis. I don't know if in table tennis. In table tennis, she's a world champ in table tennis. She's a Cross Riverian. If you're one, good. So we have lots of Cross Riverians. But the problem is, since they are not within, we might not be able to tag them and give props to the youth of Cross River State. But please, let's begin to look outward. Any youth of Cross River State, whether you're in Europe, anywhere, please, the flowers should go to the youth of Cross River State and not just say that we don't have comparative advantage. We do, but it's scattered all over Nigeria and the world, and even locally here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You would respond to the third question about the maritime sector.
All right, thank you so much. I think before I respond to your question as regards the maritime, I also want to contribute to what the CEO already told in CCAC. The oil and gas sector, some of us see it as a cost. Not that we don't use fuel to drive our cars, but because it came to lock up the mindset of our people as regards economic diversification. We didn't want to see how we can diversify other potentials in the nation. Everybody was like talking oil and gas. And the illustration that the CEO gave is exactly what's going on. I can go introduce myself as just a business person and nobody gets my attention. But once an oil and gas, what do you call them? Mogul come. They give them seats. And same thing with the political class. I'm sorry to say this, sir. It just recently they start recognizing us in the private sector. It was always, His Excellency, Honorable, Commissioner of this, appointees of this, SA of this, and we'll just be sitting down to look. But the truth is, back to the theme for this gathering, which is nurturing sustainability. And the word nurturing hits me differently because I'm also a mother. I'm a mother of 5 children. And what do we do as regards motherhood? We nurture. We nurture our children mentally. We nurture them spiritually. We nurture them socially. We nurture them academically and also, physically. So when we talk about nurturing, it has to do with education. It has to do with upbringing. It has to do with giving ideas and innovation. And that is what boosts my own motivation to create this work of art, maritime business, trade and logistics. Because having been in the sector for that decade, I felt that, for me to leave a legacy, I need to also leave a mark, which is the book. And you're not the only person that has called my attention, to the grassroots by which we need to also train our children and introduce maritime to them early. So that will take me back to my, closet to write, for the beginners, that even primary school or secondary school children can use. But that being said, when we talk about nurturing, I started with mentally. I'm also a pastor You know, I'm a children pastor. I've written a lot of books for children training and upbringing. I thank God that, in fact, when I saw my father here in the Lord, you know, he forwarded my Facebook, all in one woman. I was relaxed. I know that I'm in the right place because to some extent, we were talking with Evangelist Ephraim Effiong. He gave me a platform to create an awareness there in his own Holy Ghost hour. And we were talking, and I told him that to some extent, I came to realize that the church background was like it's like a cage, you know, to the members, because we were like shutting doors against them getting the right information and, you know, having a relationship with the business community for them to be able to, you know, grow, you know, their potentials and boost their productivity. And that is the truth. You know, it's very rare here, especially in this part of the world, for you to see a church give you a platform to talk about business. In fact, if you even bring it in, they will see you as a very carnal person. You know, she didn't even speak in tongues, nor even pray, nor do this, and she's talking about business. I have suffered that for a very long time. And the life has to be balanced. We are not altogether spiritual beings, we are also physical beings, by which we eat, we pay bills. And at the end of the day, after prayers and all of that, you feel hunger, by which you need to eat. So business skills development has to be introduced to the church, to churches. Skills development, entrepreneurship, and, you know, trade needs to be introduced to churches. I am an advocate for that. I'm going around churches to preach that. In order to help our children, let's see how we can introduce trade development to them. Let them develop a skill. Let them learn entrepreneur in order to, you know, use that to secure their future. There are no jobs anywhere. You know, gone were the days that you just finish university and you're carrying your certificate and looking for jobs. You might look and you might not see. So while you are in the university, you need to learn a trade. That was what also motivated me to create Bright Flow Skills Development Institute, by which we train people on skills development. Although the background is maritime, but maritime is broad. That's why the title of my book talks about maritime business, trade, and logistics. Areas of trade, you have, you know, how to harness your own local produce or products and services for international markets. The area of maritime business, you can work in the port, maybe as a staff of the Nigerian Port Authority, or any of the service providers or port operators in the port, like the ECM terminal and others. You can be I'm also a clearing and forwarding agent. I'm a licensed customs agent. You know, you can also find your feet on that regard. You can be a custom broker, by which you relate, you know, both with the vessel owners and the consignment owners, like an importers and exporters. You can also go into negotiation. There's something we introduced into the system recently called trade negotiations. In fact, one of the things I do recently is negotiations. You know, because we come to realize that there's a lot of people that are into that system, but they don't understand the ethics of the job. So once they make mistakes, it's to our own advantage. We now go in for negotiation, and that's where we make our money. In fact, the money I've made in the last 2 years in negotiation, I can't compare that to thousands of containers I've cleared over the years. That's the truth. So it's something that, you know, you need to come and learn. Another thing that God has used to keep me in the system and sustain me in the system is on the area of documentation. Documentation. You know, you can have a product, you can have a market, but you might not have a document. So you need an expert to guide you on document and documentation. If you read my book, you will see. I am I created, I'm the one that segmented documentation, because over the years, we only look at 3 segments of documentation, which is shipping documents, trade documents, and import and export document. But I added, while I was writing this book, I added 2 more. We now have 5, which I segment them accordingly to guide both importers and exporters and practitioners in the system. So we are doing so much, you know, as the leading of the Holy Spirit. If you check, like I said, I'm also a pastor, so I don't like speaking without bringing in some Bible text. In Luke chapter 2, verse 52, the Bible said that Jesus Christ continued to grow in stature. He increased in wisdom and he obtained favor with God and with man. That also helped me to create what I call the 4-point factor for sustainability. Number 1 is God. Jesus Christ obtained favor with God and with man. Number 2 is people. You need people. In fact, I don't know the time I have. I really need to talk to Cross Riverian. You need people. You know, I was in a church, and I was asked to come and speak in that church. I was shocked when the young man that, you know, coordinated the intercessory prayer session, all he did was to castigate, you know, foreigners, people from other states. And he used that as a prayer point. They have taken over our state, and we are now buying land from them, and all of that. You don't do that. You know, you need strangers. One of the people that God has used to help me grow in the system are the Chinese. The CEO just mentioned Nanjing. I have been to Nanjing. I've been to Jiangsu, I've been to Ningbo, I've been to Jiangsu, I have been to Guangzhou, Guangzhou and all of that. I have been to so many cities in China. I do business. If you see me relate with Chinese, you might think that I'm a Chinese woman. They have been a friend and brothers to me, you know, and all of that. You need strangers. You need people. Forget about the ideology. I don't need anybody in my life. You need people, my dear. If Jesus Christ, our Lord and personal Savior, could obtain favor with God and with man, you need people. Please, we should see how we can amend our own mentality on how we relate with people. Mind the way you talk to people you meet, because you might not know whom God will use to guide you to the next level of your endeavors. You need people. You need strangers in your midst. You know, when I think the someone that a personality that God used to tell Abraham that you're going to have children were strangers. The Bible says so. So we need God. We need people. Number 3 is information. Information is very important. You might be sitting on gold and you see prayer, cast and bind anybody that is sitting on my gold. Information is very important. One of the things, like I said, that has kept me in the system, I'm like, if you see 100 men in the pots, I will be like 1 or 2, or the second woman you will meet there. It's not been easy for a woman to work in all male domineering environments. I became a widow at a very young age. You know, if I didn't have the word of God, the fear of God, and self-control, I would have been rubbish in the system.
All right.
But I had focus, I had the fear of God, and I stick to, you know, the job ethics.
All right.
So now, information is very important. What did I do? I know that there are lapses in the system by which, you know, oftentimes, either an exporter or an importer will make mistake, or what we call wrong classification. You know, they will also make a mistake with what we call wrong declaration and all of that. I started studying. How do I help them, you know, amend this fact? And by the grace of God, God has helped me that, you know, for me to help an importer, organization, or any institution to be able to get them, you know, their products, get the right classification, get the right declaration, and all of that, in order not to have issues with customs, you will definitely look for me.
All right.
And no matter how, you know, they are trying to, you know, backstab me, you will look for me, because you know that I have your information within my disposal.
All right.
Before I round up, please, the last one is platform. Don't joke with platform. Your phone can be your platform. The church can be your platform. Where we are seated is a platform. What do you do in the platform? You belong to so many WhatsApp. Have they added value to your life? If you belong to any platform that is not value, you know, addition oriented, please remove yourself immediately.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed. Put your hands together for her. Hold up. We will continue with the questions, but we have to do this right now. I'd like to crave your indulgence to just take 2 minutes of your time from the questions and all that, as we invite the representative of His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Cross River State, for his message. Very quickly, please put your hands together for Dr. Chris Ojikbong. He's representing the Deputy Governor of Cross River State. Thank you. You can take your seat while that's going on. Thank you, ma'am. Buy her book and read more.
the Honorable Commissioner for Youth, another government officials present, the facilitator of this event. Let me please rest on the established protocol. Permit me to express the regrets of my boss, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Right Honorable Peter Bode, who would have loved to be here personally, but the exigencies of office, the demands, and I would say clashes, or one or two programs have made it impossible for him to be here himself. I also apologize that even if I came to stand for him, I still arrived late. Really, he was trying to see and doing everything possible to be here himself. So he actually delayed, trying to see if it will be possible for him to be here. As you all know him, he's a youth-friendly deputy governor. He loves to interface with the youths, and he loves to identify and participate with youth events. So it was when it became clearly inevitable that I have to come. That is when I was summoned to be here. Please, we are sorry. When I came in and I saw the topic, in any case, let me appreciate the Commissioner for Power, who were informed, had declared the event open on behalf of the Deputy Governor. I didn't meet him. Please, I appreciate him. I have listened to various speakers, discussants, and I'd like to say that even though the Deputy Governor was to present a keynote address, it looks like the note has been removed. So only the key is left for us to add now. So at best, I will only add the key to it. But I appreciate the earlier presenters. You know, they have done justice to the topic. Before I present his speech, let me just say a line. I am aware of a Native American proverb that says that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow from our children. That in itself summarizes what sustainability is. Taking actions, deliberate actions that, with a sense that there is tomorrow. So whatever survival strategies, whether in politics, economy, environment, agriculture, whatever, we must take them with that sense that there is tomorrow. Of course, God himself designed it so. I borrow a leaf from Madam Pastor. I'm not one, but I got motivated. You see, even the creation itself, what did God do? He created everything, created man and woman, but it didn't end there. It didn't end by creating Adam and Eve. He still gave a word of command. Go into the world and what? Multiply. To me, that is his own way of ensuring sustainability of the human race. So in everything, there is sustainability. I wish I had my own thing today, but I am restricted to the speech of my boss. So I will go ahead to present just that. Keynote address by the Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Right Honorable Peter Bode, at the International Leadership and Economic Roundtable held at Hoji's Hotel, Calabar on 26 September 2024. It is with great pleasure that I join you at this prestigious gathering to discuss an issue that is critical to our future: nurturing sustainability. Sustainability, particularly in the context of economic development, requires both vision and action. And I commend the organizers for bringing together such a diverse group of leaders from government, business, and various sectors of society to engage in this vital conversation. In Cross River State, we recognize that the world is changing rapidly, and our economy must be dynamic in order to adapt to global shifts. Therefore, the government is fully committed to ensuring sustainable economic development that not only meets the needs of today, but also safeguards the prospect of future generations. One of the cornerstones of this commitment is our ongoing work in the area of infrastructure development, particularly transportation. We understand that a well-connected state is a productive state. Hence, our administration is investing heavily in improving road networks within the metropolis and across the state, investing in the purchase of 4 more planes to boost air travel in and out of the state, and recently carrying out the groundbreaking for a railway line spanning the entire length of the state. These efforts are designed to ensure that goods, services, and people can move efficiently and safely, promoting commerce and improving the overall standard of living for our citizens. Beyond transportation, tourism development is another area where Cross River State has great potentials. As you already know, we are blessed with natural resources, breathtaking landscapes, and a rich cultural heritage. The state government has made a deliberate effort to develop tourism as a sustainable sector of the economy. By preserving our natural habitats and promoting eco-friendly tourism, we not only protect the environment, but also create jobs and boost our economy. The Tinapa Business Resort, the Obudu Mountain Resort, and the annual Carnival Calabar are all taking on new life as our administration is injecting every resource necessary to make Cross River a profitable tourism hub in Nigeria. In addition to our investments in tourism and transport, we are working to improve access to education, healthcare, and essential services, ensuring that all residents of Cross River State can benefit from the progress being made. Some of the primary healthcare facilities in the state are now being upgraded to secondary healthcare facilities to serve our people better. This is how to create a thriving environment where businesses can grow and citizens can prosper. Time will fail if I have to outline the various massive strides we have taken in agriculture and other areas. Ladies and gentlemen, the responsibility to nurture sustainability lies with all of us. It requires collaboration, innovation, and commitment. The business community, government, and civil society must work hand in hand to ensure that economic progress is not achieved at the expense of our government or future generations. As we continue this roundtable, I assure you that the government of Cross River State is committed to playing its part in this journey. We will continue to support policies and initiatives that foster sustainable growth, create jobs, and enhance the well-being of our people. I thank you all for your attention and look forward to the productive discussions that will follow. Thank you, Right Honorable Peter Ode, PhD, Deputy Governor, Cross River State.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Right Honorable Peter Ode, PhD. represented by his head of personnel. Thank you so much indeed for coming. Thank you so much. All right, so I'd like to invite the ushers, please help me. Let's take this down again. Quickly. The ushers, please, let's take this pulpit down. Thank you very much. So let's invite our panelists one more time, please. The Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development and Skills Acquisition, the youthful Honorable Ijom Okam, and of course the CEO of Bright Flow Conglomerate, Bright Flow. Thank you so much indeed. Let me also invite, Ambassador Namiti just stepped out. Once he returns. So we don't have time anymore. We'll take just one more question. How many hands are up? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me ask the panelists. How many more can we take? Panelists, sir, Commissioner, sir, how many more questions can we take? We have about 6 hands up. Please, I'll give you 30 seconds to ask your question. If it's more than 30 seconds, I'll take the mic from you. 30 seconds. Prof, I'll come to you, I'll show you. 30 seconds. Yes, after this, no more. So, take your number. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Prof is 7. 7 questions and that's it. Oh, that's 8. So 8 questions and that is. Okay, Ambassador is still around. Please make your way to the high table. You're part of our panelists now. Put your hands together for Ambassador Namiti. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, he is. All right, so can we have the questions now? You, number 1. Quickly, 30 seconds.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocol duly observed. My question is directly to the Honorable Commissioner of Youth. Please, sir, I want to know if you have a role or a platform where you mentor young ones as a way of nurturing sustainability, and if your government have a place for youth who are not Cross Riverians but are recently residing in Cross River State. That's my question, sir.
All right, good question. Another one. No, who's number 2? All right, quickly, 30 seconds.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Chinas Augusta. Okay, my question is, I've noticed something right from the time I entered Cross River. I came in here as a copper, but I'm done with my service. I noticed that these new foundations, they lack support from the government, because during the time of my project, community projects, I wrote through a foundation, Sticks and Brass Foundation. What do? They train children, like the young ones, on how to use music instruments. They train them. Once you're done learning that, you can use it as a skill. You can earn your money. But then I wrote a letter for partnership with them. I even wrote to some ministries and other bodies, other government bodies, but I didn't get any support. That was how I didn't do that project until I finished my service. So the question is that, why do we lack support? Thank you.
So she needs support. All right. Let's take 3 and then we'll. Who's number 3?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isaiah Ite. So I'll be coming from the community angle. I do upcycling and recycling. So my question would have gone to Mr. Bonduke, but any other person can still answer. Because I work in communities also as an environmentalist, and had a problem. Just did a World Cleanup Day on Saturday, and we had to clean. And after cleaning, there were no waste bin in Calabar South to dump. We had to start carrying on our head to go distance. So in the, Mr. Bonduke talked about recycling as part of the plan. So that question would have really gone to him. How what's the plan for the recyclers? We have recyclers in this town. In case we do not know, we have recyclers. Thank you.
All right, I think we should do these three and then come back for more. Okay, so who was the first question for Commissioner for Youth? My guy at the top. Okay, sir. No, and let's, he has his mic. The first question of the Commissioner.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my dear brother. I think without being told, guess you're a non-Indian. You're from? No problems. Your question is very much, appreciated because I've had opportunities to address that issue severally about the role of youths who are not indigens but residing in Cross River State. But let me first of all start with your first question, which is if we have a platform where we nurture young people. Yes, we do. And I'm sure you're conversant with these bodies, these youth bodies I'm going to mention, the Youth Council of Nigeria, the Youth Parliament, you have Youth Association of Nigeria, and lots of other youth. They are all domiciled in the Ministry of Youth Development. And let me not also forget to mention the National Youth Service Corps. It's also domiciled in the Ministry of Youth Development. And so what it means is that these are the platforms, the official platforms, since you want to know, where we carry out these programs, nurturing sustainability, mental capacity building, values reorientation, and world view. Because we as a government, it will be difficult to carry out our youth programs without identifying major youth organizations to work with. But that does not limit us. We also have programs that we just profile young people irrespective of whether they belong to these youth groups or not. For instance, I talked about the ambassadorial role I gave to some young people. Now, when I meant youth doing business in Cross River State, mind you, I didn't use the word Cross Riverians. I didn't use the word Cross Riverians. And so if you profile the ambassadors I branded, some of them are not Cross Riverians. But they are young people doing very well in Cross River. So you can pick them as role models, irrespective of where they come from. Because the truth is, their customer base is here in Cross River State. So they've affected the lives of the average Cross Riverian with their skill, with their business and all of that. So they need to be also celebrated and given a pat on the back. So we are not sentimental when we talk about the Ministry of Youth Development. And I can tell you, our own ministry, our own governor is not tribalistic. That's the truth, because I have almost all of the programs I have in the ministry. In fact, I'll be graduating the first set of Skills in the Hands initiative. I don't know if you've heard about our program called Skills in the Hands. They'll be graduating this week or I think next week. In that program, we have non-indigens. And I told you presently, we have consultants who are profiling youth for the National Youth Investment Fund loan, the National Student Loan Fund. We do not have a space to indicate whether you're from Cross River or from Akwa Ibom. All we know is when you come in there, you're given forms to fill as a youth. And so we don't discriminate. And I don't know if you have ever taken a walk to the ministry to take part in any of our programs and you're turned back because you're not a Cross Riverian. I don't think so. I even have coppers in my ministry. And we take coppers without, thank God my director is here. I have coppers, in fact, almost all my coppers are non-indigens. The ones working in my ministry. So for us as a ministry, we are holistic when we talk about youth development. We are not tied to youths from Cross River State, not at all. So take a walk to the ministry and see for yourself, so you can, kind of like disparage that narrative or insinuation or whatever that young people. And then you talked about. I think I'm done with your question. Now, my sister asked, why do we lack support? Well, first of all, lack of information. When Madam was speaking, there's you could be sitting on a pot of gold, but because you lack the requisite information, you might not know that you're sitting on a pot of gold. Why am I saying this? If you have a bright idea if you're creative, you have something that you think can solve a particular problem, because that's how entrepreneurs develop, by identifying a problem in the society that you can solve. You necessarily do not need government. That's a mistake young people make. You have development partners, you have NGOs, you have private individuals, corporate bodies who are willing and ready to partner with you to make sure they get that particular product or service to the public. Because truth is, you can have a bright idea. There could be a company that could buy into that idea and make so much money from it. For instance, let's talk about the music industry. What's his name now? The owner of, I've forgotten his name now, I'm not too good with music. He doesn't sing much, but he makes his money from signing young artists. You know him now, Don Jazzy. And not all the musicians that he gets contact to, I'm sure they have a platform where they can send their demo for him to listen to. And so you could be a good musician, but because you don't have the contact or the platform or the information channel to reach him, and you might not get called up by him to future. For instance, the fish pie guy has been selling his stuff for years. I hope you know. But because of the power of what? TikTok, social media, I think the first person who profiled him was Edmond. Put him on his platform, and boom. You're now, all of us, you're getting to know about a balsam. Don't forget that Valsam would have been telling people, this is my fish pie that I've been selling. Nobody is supporting me. Not knowing that probably he's just not met the right people, or he has not, gotten the right contact and all of that. So when you're seeking support, don't limit it to government. And I'm sure when you say, why don't they support us? I don't know how many government people you met, because thank God Bong Duke, the chairman of Vice Chairman, State Planning Commission. Most young people have this erroneous belief that government is a tabula rasa. What I mean by tabula rasa, anything you bring will be signed on. Thank God you heard from the Vice Chairman of State Planning Commission. What it means is that when you submit your action plan, they tell you, no, this is not, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. So your action plan defines what you do in a budget year. That's the standard. And so if you bring up anything to government and it's not captured in our action plan or budget and all of that, you might have the challenge of funding. I don't know if you understand. So it's not as if the person you met in government doesn't like or does not want to partner, but where does it place that in that particular budget here? So he could tell you, okay, hold on, let's see the next budget. I could bring that up. For instance, my experience with the Planning Commission, now I'm telling you, when I went to action plan, the State Planning Commission asked me ways I intend to take youths away from cybercrime, that's Yahoo. And I went on to, reel out various, but they just called my attention and said, how did antivirus come up? It's because there was virus. So you need to create an antivirus to stop them. And how do you do that? Is to train young people on cybersecurity. It wasn't in my action plan. And so, assuming a young man met me to say, I have a bright idea in cybersecurity, what would I tell? My ministry does not support. I don't know if but I went to the State Planning Commission and they told me, you need to include training in what? Cyber security in your action plan. And boom, I did. I spoke with a few people, especially my brother, Emmanuel Sam, and we came up with something. And we included in our action plan. And so what it means is that every other person who had approached me before now with some bright ideas in cyber security will now have what? A place in my ministry. And so that's how it works. But you need to bring that idea. We can sit down and look at it. If it doesn't fit into our action plan for the year, we can roll over. We can roll over. We're not like the private people and all of that. They can bend, amend, review, as the case may be. But government, we are a little bit stereotyped. What it means is that if budget is approved for the year, I can't go left or right until that budget cycle is completed. So I hope you're not offended. It's not as if government does not, support young people doing, but it must be accommodated in our action plan. If not, then we'll be all over the street doing support without, taking care of the needs in our budget, provisions. Thank you very much.
Honorable Commissioner, I hope you're satisfied. You got clarity, right? Thank you very much indeed. So I'd like to invite, before the questions come again, let me invite Ambassador Inamiti. He'll speak to us about his organization, how young people like you and I can be part of that organization and benefit from that organization. Ambassador, please.
Thank you very much for this opportunity again. Well, like we said, I said when I was making my speech, in WIG, we do not select people to join. It's open to everybody. WIG, World International Economic Group. Economic Group, yes. So we do not select people to join, and but then people select us. Unfortunately, we've not made ourselves known to everybody yet. Well, because maybe the thing is not properly launched yet. It's going to be flagged off on the 8th of November, like I said, in Lagos. So, and of course, we've actually been encouraging people, the trade unions, politicians, at all levels, people at all levels of business, to actually participate, join, and joining are in different, scales and levels. So we have, like I said, you have the registered members and we have the non-registered membership. So, and that's the palliative. So everybody can join. You don't have to pay to benefit, to register to benefit. So it's just that your benefits are in levels. Depends on, what even your registration are in levels. So, and likewise your benefits. So it's open to all to join. So if you're interested, I'll make my number. Okay, let me make it public now. 080 33 222 799. I repeat, 080 33 222 799. It's also my WhatsApp number and call number, so you can reach me on that number. And then, of course, for those of you who probably do not understand, we also have training sessions. We meet every Thursday. Thursday like this in the States here, we meet, and I'm privileged to sit at the moment of affairs in the States here too, because we want to get people to understand and get the purpose properly streamlined, objective properly streamlined, before I hand over to, I'm sure some persons here, definitely going to take over as the state coordinator, Yes. So, and also, whatever kind of business you do, there's provision and room for you here. So it's not multi-level marketing. No. So, and it's not actually an Indomie thing whereby you expect to see benefit immediately. No. It's garbage in, garbage out. As the effort you put in, that's what you're going to get out. Like I told you, I started as state coordinator. I was identified, by someone who saw potential in me and recommended me. Oh, okay, I know someone who can actually, I was went to the national president then, and then I was made state coordinator. And then from being state coordinator, I became state rep. And from being state rep, today I'm national secretary. So it's by your input. And WIG was supposed to have been launched 3 years ago, but the federal government refused to, or they don't have provisions. Just like last week the commissioner just told us, they don't have provision for that in their budget. So someone that is bringing money to come and empower you will not come and give you money again for you to flag off to receive them. It's through this That's every other government has done that. If our African countries were ready, just like the national president used his veto since he has now made vice president. You understand? So use his veto to say, okay, let's us, Nigeria is the giant of Africa. Let's Nigeria be flagged off first. So the Arab, in fact, we don't put on with me, but I think that some of the African countries are the ones supporting our flag off today. Please don't quote me, because he has not told me, yes. But honestly, that's what I think. Because they cannot be flagged off until we are flagged off. And their government, Benin, Togo, the government is ready to, you know, I mean, personally, I've seen the proof of funds. I've invested so much money. I fly in and out of Lagos to Lagos, and I'm back for this purpose. It's not a thing that you probably gain immediately. Yes, but of course, the future is still very bright and bright for all. We're going to be on streets. We're going to have street coordinators, street escorts. Because every person that is selling a kiosk, whatever you're selling there, we can actually support. I mean, we're going to bring, for instance, now we meet Mr. Sam Emmanuel and ask him, okay, what do you do? He says, okay, he sells this condition. You bring in, or can you sell, or do you import? He says, okay, he imports one container at an, let me put a cost of, assuming 100,000 per unit.